Ouyang Yu's smile faded slightly, and a hint of sorrow flickered in his eyes as he declared, "I intend to accompany you all." Lan Qingming's eyes widened in surprise, noticing the unusual expression on his face. She hurriedly inquired, "Master, has something happened upon your return? You can share anything with your disciple. After all, I am quite gifted. Perhaps I could devise a solution to assist you," she added. Ouyang Yu offered a bitter smile, shaking his head in resignation. "This matter is beyond your capacity to resolve. Focus on your cultivation." Since he was unwilling to elaborate, Lan Qingming decided to seek out Uncle Lin for more information. "Master, your disciple shall take her leave." Ouyang Yu waved his hand, and as Lan Qingming exited the palace, she rushed to find Uncle Lin, ultimately spotting him perched upon a tree. She called out loudly, "Uncle Lin, come down quickly. I have something wonderful for you." Uncle Lin leaped down, a look of anticipation on his face. "Young lady, what brings you here? Do you have something special for me, or do you seek my assistance?" Lan Qingming, not one to beat around the bush, promptly stated, "Uncle Lin, I wish to inquire about Master's recent whereabouts or any matters he may be facing. He seems quite heartbroken. I promise I won't tell a soul," she added earnestly. Uncle Lin shook his head with a hint of reluctance. "Young lady, I understand your desire to alleviate the Master's worries, but this is a personal matter of his heart." Lan Qingming's eyes widened in astonishment. "Oh, I see. Master has a woman he cares for? Is he unable to win her affection, thus feeling despondent?" Uncle Lin shook his head. "There are many complexities involved. The Master likely wishes to see that woman from the imperial capital one last time, though it is possible he may never have that chance." Lan Qingming paused, suddenly grasping his meaning. Could it be that the woman he cherished had passed away? No wonder Master appeared so sorrowful. She retrieved a jar of 7th-grade monkey wine from her spatial storage and presented it to him with a smile. "Uncle Lin, I obtained this during the recent sect competition. Consider it a gift." Uncle Lin's eyes brightened with a mix of sadness and joy as he chuckled, "Young lady, I shall not refuse your generosity." Lan Qingming appreciated his candid nature. "Very well, I shall take my leave now. Farewell." Upon returning to the Lan family with Lan Yin, they were immediately greeted at the door by the third uncle's family, along with a throng of curious disciples from the Lan clan. Upon catching sight of Lan Qingming, a few male disciples could not help but exclaim in admiration, "So this is Lan Qingming. She is stunning and so powerful. I heard she is a 3rd-grade alchemist. She possesses so many skills at such a young age. We simply cannot compare." The third uncle and his wife approached with warm smiles. "Eldest brother and sister-in-law, this is our niece." "Who are these two?" Lan Yin quickly introduced. "These are my parents-in-law. They hail from the imperial capital." The third uncle was taken aback, bowing respectfully. "Greetings, esteemed guests. Please pardon our previous oversight." Yi Luoqiu laughed heartily. "No matter, we are but visitors. There is no need for formality." Once everyone settled in the living room, Lan Yin broached the topic of a wedding. "Third brother, I would like to arrange a grand wedding for Ninger, and also a comingafage ceremony for Minger." The third uncle responded cheerfully, "Of course, eldest brother. We are more than willing to assist." The third aunt, charmed by her beautiful sister-in-law, smiled and remarked, "Sister-in-law, your skin is remarkably radiant. What do you use for skincare?" This compliment delighted Yi Yuning, prompting her to produce a formula. "These are a few beauty elixirs I concocted myself. I gift them to you. You may try them, they are quite effective." The third aunt's eyes sparkled with delight as she gratefully accepted the gifts. "Thank you, sister-in-law. I've been troubled by many wrinkles and dry skin lately. No store-bought products seem to help, and it has distressed me greatly." Yi Yuning replied with a smile, "Store-bought materials often lack quality, but my concoctions yield excellent results. I shall try them tonight." The third aunt exclaimed, promptly retrieving a gift in return. Yi Yuning graciously accepted the offering. Lan Junqi eagerly approached Lan Qingming, exclaiming, "Sister, brother-in-law, it has been too long. I've missed you both." Lan Junbai, feeling a twinge of exasperation towards his boisterous younger brother, lifted him by the collar. "Forgive us, Sister Junkie is being quite excitable again." Lan Qingming chuckled, presenting a card to him. "I may not have a new gift to offer, but this card grants you a free meal at Mingyue Tower, all on my account." Qi Qingchen, hearing him call brother-in-law, happily presented them with a precious spirit fruit. "This will aid in your cultivation." Lan Junkie's eyes widened in excitement as he accepted the gift. "Sister, brother-in-law, I adore you. Your generosity always touches my heart. We shall not impose on you any longer. Farewell." Lan Junkie tugged Lan Junbai towards the exit, shouting, "Hurry up, brother. Mingyue Tower will close soon. It's not every day I have a free card. The prices there are exorbitant, and I usually can't afford to dine there. Every visit costs me a fortune, but this time, I will indulge and order the most extravagant dishes." Lan Junbai was helplessly dragged along. "Junkie, slow down. If we dawdle, we might miss our chance." Lan Junkie hollered. The disciples who overheard them cast envious glances, wishing they had such a wonderful sister. In the days that followed, Lan Yin and Lan Qingming, along with their companions, busied themselves with wedding preparations. The Lan household was adorned with vibrant red decorations. Lan Qingming presented the wedding gown to several embroiderers, and they toiled late into the night, bringing to life a pair of exquisite mandarin ducks in their stitches. The gown underwent the skillful hands of over a dozen embroiderers, taking 3 days and nights to complete, finally ready on the last day. Lan Qingming gazed at the crimson robe with excitement, exclaiming, "Indeed, the craft of embroidery is no simple task. It has exhausted me." Qi Qingchen approached her, noticing the dark circles under her eyes, and said with concern, "Minjer, you have been stitching for hours. You must be weary. You've been burning the candle at both ends without rest." Qi Qingchen gently pushed her towards her room. "You should take a moment to rest. The wedding is tomorrow, and you will need your energy to attend to the guests." Lan Qingming yawned and nodded. "All right."
The following morning, Lan Qingming was awakened by a commotion outside her door, where the servants were busily preparing the dining table and breakfast. Stretching her limbs, she rose from her slumber and hastened to Yi Yuaning's chamber, where the maids were assisting in her adornment. "Mother, you look absolutely stunning. I knew this wedding gown would suit you perfectly." Yi Yuaning turned her head, aware that her daughter had been staying up late these past few days to prepare for the wedding. "Ah, Ming'er, you have worked hard. That I truly adore this dress." She then noticed her daughter still in her casual attire and inquired, "Ming'er, why haven't you changed your clothes yet?" Lan Qingming scratched her head awkwardly. "Mother, I just woke up and wanted to see how you looked in your gown first." Yi Yuaning smiled and replied, "Then go and change at once. Call a maid to assist you in getting ready." Lan Qingming nodded eagerly. "All right." Returning to her own room, she was guided by a maid to don a flowing red dress, reminiscent of the hues of a setting sun, delicately layered with a sheer coral silk. Cinched at the waist with a flowing cloud-patterned embroidered phoenix belt, it perfectly accentuated her exquisite figure. As she walked, the hem of her gown gently swayed, creating an enchanting spectacle, adorning her hair with a golden hairpin. Her radiant visage became even more alluring. The maids could not help but praise her. "Miss, you are incredibly beautiful. You need not adorn yourself further, for you eclipse everyone around you." This remark sent Lan Qingming into a fit of laughter. "Huh? It can't be that exaggerated." "Indeed, miss, you are the most beautiful person I have seen, second only to madam," one maid responded earnestly. As the wedding commenced, Lan Yin stood at the front, raising a goblet to address the guests. "Today marks a momentous occasion for me. Lan Yin, I wish to introduce my wife and daughter, whom I have regained." Both Lan Qingming and Yi Yuaning, adorned in red, entered from opposite sides, standing beside Lan Yin. Gasps of admiration rippled through the crowd. Qi Qingchen, seated, was captivated by the young girl's exquisite beauty, finding her breathtakingly enchanting. That a pang of jealousy stirred within him, as he felt an urge to keep her as his own treasure, hidden away for his eyes alone. Lan Yin recounted the events surrounding Yi Yuaning from years past, eliciting murmurs of sympathy from the assembly. Now that the storm has passed, his uncle raised his cup to offer consolation. I believe you. Your wife and your daughter will thrive in the days to come. Lan Yin responded with hearty laughter. Today is not only the day of my marriage, but also the ceremony of my daughter's coming of age. I welcome everyone to partake in our celebration, and now, let us commence the wedding rites. Yi Luoqiu stepped forward with a smile. I am Ning'er's father. She has been cherished since childhood, and I hope you will care for her. The Yi family believes in a single pair of souls for a lifetime. You must never let her down. Lan Yin nodded solemnly, bowing. Father-in-law, I shall cherish Ning'er. She is my very life. Chapter 72. Fireworks display. Yi Luoqiu nodded in satisfaction, placing Yi Yuaning's hand in Lan Yin's. Yes, indeed. Yi Yuaning gazed affectionately at Lan Yin, the man she had loved for decades. Her face betraying a hint of shyness, as Lan Yin held her hand for the vows. The matchmaker called out. Bow to heaven and earth. Bow to your parents. The couple bowed to each other. With the matchmaker's proclamation, enter the bridal chamber. Yi Yuaning was guided into the room by her maid, her head covered with a veiled the banquet. Lan Qingming noticed her master drinking alone. Seemingly lost in thought, and decided to approach him. Filling a cup with wine, she cheerfully said, Master, let us toast together. Drinking alone is rather dreary, I assent it. Ouyang Yu, his eyes reflecting melancholy and slightly tipsy, clinked his cup with hers. Good apprentice. Lan Qingming blinked in anticipation of his next words, but was met instead with his relentless drinking. Sighing, she encouraged, Master, don't be like this. Try to remain optimistic. Perhaps there is still hope for Madam. Surely she would not wish to see you in such a state. Ouyang Yu paused mid-drink, a mixture of laughter and sorrow crossing his face as he shook his head in resignation. Yes? She had a penchant for cleanliness and disliked my drinking that I promised her I would quit. But now that she is gone, who am I to abstain for? At a loss for words, Lan Qingming felt the weight of grief that accompanies the loss of a loved one. Though death is a natural part of life, the sense of loss lingers. Suddenly, Qi Qingchen approached her from behind, whispering, Ming'er, come with me. I have a surprise for you. I'm going to perform a magic trick, he said mysteriously. Lan Qingming's eyes widened in surprise as she stood, excitedly asking, Are you giving me a gift? I want to see. Extending her fair hands, she urged him to place the gift within them. However, Qi Qingchen grasped her hand, leading her past the banquet to the rear garden, gently gazing at her. Ming'er, I have prepared 2 gifts for you. Lan Qingming's eyes sparkled with anticipation, urgently inquiring, What are they? Qi Qingchen positioned himself behind her, playfully covering her eyes with his hand, whispering in her ear, Ming'er, just wait a moment. She teased in a soft voice. Why the special ceremony for a gift? Suddenly, a loud sound erupted, and Qi Qingchen released his hold, revealing a brilliant display of fireworks in the sky. Lan Qingming's face lit up with delight. This is your gift. It's so beautiful. I didn't expect such splendid fireworks here. I thought they only existed back in my hometown. Qi Qingchen, slightly puzzled, asked, Hometown? Isn't Ming'er's homeland the snow capital? Lan Qingming hesitated, feeling a rush of warmth, and quickly diverted the conversation. Yes, I just meant that I seem to have seen such beautiful fireworks in my childhood. Upon hearing her words, Qi Qingchen smiled warmly, standing beside her to admire the fireworks. Then I shall accompany you every year to watch the fireworks. How does that sound? That would be wonderful. Lan Qingming readily agreed, her eyes gleaming with excitement. Qi Qingchen turned to gaze at her lovely profile, his heart stirring as he gently wrapped an arm around her waist. Leaning in to whisper, Ming'er, may I kiss you? Lan Qingming froze for a moment, glancing around to ensure no one was watching, before rising on her toes to initiate the kiss. Qi Qingchen's eyes sparkled with joy as the two shared a passionate kiss beneath the radiant fireworks. A scene as beautiful as a painting. Meanwhile, guests seated in the banquet hall looked up in awe at the sky. Ouyang Yu's lonely gaze upon the dazzling display evoking a sense of nostalgia. Guests murmured in astonishment. Wow! I didn't expect the Lan family to prepare such a grand fireworks show. Truly, they dote on Madame Lan. As Lan Yin was about to enter the room, he caught sight of the spectacle above, puzzled. Could this possibly be a fireworks display prepared by my third brother? I must call Ning'er to join me in watching the fireworks. Pushing open the door, he lifted Yi Yuaning's veil, gazing upon the long-awaited visage, his heart swelling with satisfaction. He had awaited this moment for far too long, despite the tumultuous journey that had led them apart for over a decade. His feelings for her remained unchanged. His desire to marry her had blossomed from the age of 18 and persisted into his 40s. Yi Yuaning, noticing Lan Yin's awestruck expression, called out playfully, "Husband? What's the matter?" Lan Yin, eyes alight with surprise, took her hand and led her to the window seat, excitedly proclaiming, "Ninger, look at the fireworks in the sky," believing it to be his surprise. Yi Yuaning's face beamed with joy as she exclaimed, "Such beautiful fireworks, thank you, husband." Lan Yin embraced her, their gazes locking in an intimate moment that made him swallow hard, leaning down to kiss her blushing cheek. They drank from the cup of union, the wine infused with an aphrodisiac, igniting a passionate fervor between them as the red wedding gown slipped to the floor and the curtains slowly descended. In the courtyard, Lan Qingming shyly leaned against Qi Qingchun, who retrieved a box from his space and gently handed it to her, saying softly, "Meng'er, open it," and see that as Lan Qingming opened the box. Her eyes widened in delight at the exquisite hairpiece within, and she looked up at him. "This red set is beautiful. It perfectly complements my many red garments." Qi Qingchun smiled tenderly. "Indeed? This is actually a set of hidden weapons. When worn, they are not easily noticed, yet they are quite lovely, suited for a lady." Lan Qingming took the hairpin and turned her back to him. "Qingchen, please put it on for me." Qi Qingchun chuckled. Of course. As he adorned her hair, Lan Qingming spun around excitedly. "Do I look good?" Draped in red, with the matching ornament, she appeared stunningly beautiful. Qi Qingchun nodded with delight. "You look marvelous." Lan Qingming beamed, teasingly inching closer. "So, who looks better, me or the hairpiece?" With their noses nearly touching, they could feel each other's breath. Qi Qingchun's heart raced as he stammered, "You look beautiful, and the ornament suits you perfectly." Lan Qingming gazed intently at him, causing Qi Qingchun to become flustered, fearing he had misspoken, and quickly apologized. "I'm sorry, Meng'er. What's wrong? I truly think you're beautiful. But I struggle to find grandiose words to express myself. I can be a bit clumsy with words." Lan Qingming let out a light laugh, quickly planting a kiss on his cheek, teasing, "Qingchen, you so silly." It's adorable. Chapter 73. Journey to the imperial capital. Qi Qingchun, realizing he had been playfully outwitted, helplessly exclaimed, "Meng'er, you've learned to tease me. Haha, I am curious to see your reaction." Lan Qingming said with a smile. On this clear and cloudless day, Lan Qingming arrived early in the living room, eagerly awaiting the arrival of Yi Luoqiu and others, who gradually gathered. "Grandparents, parents, master, shall we set off today? I can hardly contain my excitement. I yearn to see my mother's hometown," Lan Qingming exclaimed with a smile. Why, Yi Luoqiu chuckled, "Haha, it is wonderful there. Whatever you desire, your grandfather can provide, and he can also take you out for fun." Lan Qingming blinked her eyes. "Really?" Yi Yuaning smiled and affirmed, "Indeed, the capital continent enjoys a temperate climate year-round, perfect for exploring the mountains and rivers. There are many alchemists and schools you can attend. Meng'er, you too can consider enrolling." Lan Qingming exclaimed in excitement. "Great, let's leave now." Shui Wenxin jested, "Soon you'll be the most esteemed princess of the royal family, with your grandmother backing you. No one would dare to provoke you." Lan Qingming made an exaggerated expression. "How wonderful! Then I can experience the privileges of being a princess. When we return, I shall ask your uncle to confer a title upon you," Yi Luoqiu said with a smile. "Oying, you expressed nostalgia? It seems I have not met Chongyun for a long time. We should plan a hunting trip together." Yi Luoqiu laughed heartily. "Sounds good. I want to join too." Lan Qingming eagerly chimed in, "Me too." Ouyang Yu continued, "There is only one route to the capital continent, located at the junction of the two continents. By the seaside, it will take us over a month by ship to arrive." Yi Luoqiu nodded. "No problem. We will rent a ship. You don't get seasick, do you?" Lan Qingming shook her head. "I shouldn't get seasick. I have never been on a ship." Qi Qingchun smiled and said, "No worries. If you do get seasick, I have prepared medicine." Lan Qingming gave a thumbs up and praised, "Not bad. So thoughtful. You truly are my extraordinary boyfriend." Qi Qingchun felt a flicker of confusion. He often heard fresh terms from Lan Qingming, but didn't comprehend their meaning. However, seeing her so excited, he assumed she was praising him. That he smiled in response. The group used a teleportation array to arrive at the riverbank at the junction of the two continents. Lan Qingming, for the first time in this world, gazed at the vast ocean, her eyes widening in awe. Wow, the azure sea, even the air feels refreshing. I absolutely adore this place. If I could live here, I would surely be very happy. Qi Qingqian secretly noted this and thought he must bring her here to live for a while. Wai Iluatio remarked with a smile, "This place is free from any harmful pollution. It is home to many spiritual marine creatures, most of which possess great spiritual power. If one could find a sea pearl, one might dive to observe the myriad of fish. Many claim there are abundant treasures within, yet due to the dangers, no living soul has successfully entered and returned alive." Upon hearing this, Lan Qingming shivered, awkwardly laughing. "Then I suppose I shall refrain from going. Life comes first." Wai Iluatio burst into laughter. "Haha, I thought you would be as fearless as your uncle. He once came with your master and returned barely alive, nursing his wounds for quite some time." Ouying Yu recalled his youthful reckless deeds and couldn't help but laugh. "Haha, we were indeed brave back then. If it were me now, I wouldn't dare to go." Lan Qingming stuck out her tongue. "Youth is meant for courage. Otherwise, life loses its flavor in old age." Shui Wenqin chuckled. "Ming'er, where do you come up with such philosophies?" "I read it in a book," Lan Qingming replied with wide eyes. Wai Iluatio located a nearby ship and communicated with the steward. "Please take us to the capital continent. We will charter the entire ship." The steward, hearing a large order, promptly welcomed them aboard. "Wonderful. The total is 10,000 spirit stones. May I ask you all?" His gaze swept over the elegantly dressed group, and Iluatio immediately produced the spirit stones, saying, "You need not worry about this. Just take us there. This is a portion of the deposit. We will pay the remainder upon arrival." The steward, recognizing he was dealing with someone not easily fooled, did not attempt to raise the price, but warmly prepared to set sail. "Dear guests, please board quickly. We can depart now." Lan Qingming and her companions hurried aboard, each finding their own luxurious rooms. Fully equipped with all necessities, Lan Qingming marveled, "I never knew the cultivation world had such opulent ships. I've never been on one like this." Qi Qingqian, accustomed to her peculiar remarks, nodded in agreement. "Ming'er, there are various fun activities upstairs," Lan Qingming exclaimed with delight. "Really? What are they?" Qi Qingqian chuckled softly. "Ming'er, you'll find out when you go upstairs." After spending some time enjoying herself upstairs, a month later, they finally arrived at the shores of the capital continent. The steward quickly approached to remind them, "Guests, you have arrived. You may disembark." Wai Iluatio handed over the spirit stones. "Thank you." Lan Qingming observed the numerous boats nearby, exclaiming, "Did they all come from another continent?" Ouyang Yu explained, "Indeed, there are 3 continents in total, and the capital continent is the one with the densest spiritual energy, attracting many cultivators for training. Only by doing so can one advance further. Otherwise, one remains stagnant on a lower continent." After hearing this, Lan Qingming felt even more convinced that she should come here. That moment, a middle-aged man in a yellow robe appeared in the distance, flanked by numerous guards and palace maids in identical attire. The man at the forefront was exceptionally handsome, yet bore a striking resemblance to her. Wai Iluatio called out with a smile, "Qingyun." Yi Qingyun approached with great enthusiasm, waving his hand. "Father, mother, sister, you have finally returned." Iluatio playfully slapped his head. "As the emperor, could you not be a bit more composed? There are younger ones present. Show some dignity." Yi Qingyun sheepishly scratched his head. "Father, I have long wished to be rid of this ridiculous title of emperor. Now that you have returned, you can take it back." Iluatio, fuming, retorted, "You insolent boy. What nonsense are you spouting?" Yi Qingyun quickly rubbed his reddened ear, awkwardly saying, "I understand, father. With so many people around, can't you give me a bit of face? I haven't seen you for years, and you start scolding me as soon as you return." Iluatio snorted coldly and quickly turned to introduce. "Humph, let me introduce you. This is your niece Ming'er, and these are your sister and brother-in-law. This is Qi Qingqian." Yi Qingyun, seeing them, excitedly exclaimed, "Sister, you have finally returned. I've missed you so much. You have no idea how worried I was when I heard you were being pursued. I wanted to accompany father and mother to find you, but they insisted I remain on the throne, which is why it took me so long to see you." Yi Yuaning, her eyes brimming with tears, stepped forward to embrace Yi Qingyun, choking back her emotions. "I'm sorry, brother, for causing you worry. I am fine now, and our family is finally reunited." Lan Yin stood beside Yi Yuaning, proactively greeting him. Elder brother-in-law, it's been a long time. Yi Qingyun laughed heartily. Brother-in-law, upon your return, we must spar once more. You haven't diminished in strength over the years, have you? Lan Yin replied. I certainly cannot match your prowess, elder brother. Why? Yi Qingyun smirked. Do not be modest. You used to let me win. This time, we shall truly see our strengths. Lan Yin readily agreed. All right. Yi Qingyun then turned to Ouyang Yu with a smile. Brother Ouyang, it has been decades since we last met. You have finally returned. You left without a word back then. Ouyang Yu replied with an apologetic smile. I am sorry, Qingyun. I had some personal matters that required my departure, and then unforeseen circumstances arose, leading to an extended absence. Yi Qingyun raised an eyebrow, playfully patting him on the shoulder. I recall you were supposed to marry Yu. Why don't I see her? Ouyang Yu's expression grew somber. And after a moment of silence, Lan Qingming, noticing her master's reluctance to answer, quickly interjected to lighten the mood. Uncle, let us hurry home. I want to see what my mother's former home was like. Yi Qingyun, oblivious to Ouyang Yu's melancholy, turned back to Lan Qingming with a cheerful smile. Niece, it's wonderful to finally meet you. I have heard your parents mention you in their letters. Now, let me take you to the palace. Lan Qingming smiled brightly, urging everyone to move quickly. Then let us set off now. I can hardly wait. I've heard the palace cuisine is exquisite, and I must compare it to my own cooking to see who is better. Yi Qingyun laughed heartily. I didn't expect my niece to be a cook. I must surely taste your culinary skills. Lan Qingming's eyes sparkled. Absolutely. I will impress you. Just ask grandfather and grandmother. They have tasted my cooking, and it is superb. Yi Luoqiu and the others chuckled. Menger's culinary talents are indeed remarkable. She could open a restaurant. A look of surprise shone in Yi Qingyun's eyes as he smiled and said, I absolutely adore savoring the culinary delights from various regions. My niece must prepare some delicacies for me then. Who knows? I might even hire you as my royal chef. He whispered this into her ear. Lan Qingming's eyes sparkled with curiosity as she inquired, what is the salary for a royal chef? Yi Qingyun, taken aback by her apparent interest in finances, quickly responded, it's quite lucrative, far exceeding the wages of ordinary chefs, amounting to several thousand spirit stones a month. Lan Qingming exclaimed excitedly, then I shall go for it. I will definitely showcase my culinary skills to you, and you must hire me. Yi Qingyun chuckled softly and agreed. All right, Yi Luoqiu, smiling, added, Menger, do not be deceived by your uncle. In the palace, you can acquire as many spirit stones as you desire without needing to become a royal chef. Lan Qingming gasped in awe. Wow, is this the legendary wealth of the royal palace? Indeed, the palace is quite affluent. Yi Qingyun replied earnestly. The group arrived at the palace gates in a carriage, where Yi Qingyun produced a token, and the guards promptly granted them entry. Upon recognizing familiar faces, the head guard knelt excitedly, proclaiming, Welcome back, Your Majesty, Your Imperial Highness, Your Highness the Empress, and the Princess. You have finally returned. Yi Luoqiu hurriedly helped him to his feet, smiling with appreciation. Guardly, you have waited here for many years. Your dedication is commendable. Guardly quickly bowed in respect, asserting, Your Imperial Highness, I do not find it burdensome. I have merely awaited your return. As Lan Qingming gazed at the grand plaque inscribed with the words Royal Palace, she felt a wave of pressure wash over her. Steadying her mind, she focused on resisting the imposing aura. Yi Qingyun observed her calm demeanor with silent admiration, thinking, indeed, she is a child of the Yi family. She possesses great spirit. Qi Qingchen, who had been silently following Lan Qingming, remained quiet, once inside the palace. Yi Qingyun arranged rooms for them, and Qi Qingchen reluctantly bid farewell to Lan Qingming. Menger, I will be in the adjacent courtyard. Call for me if you need anything. I shall be at your service. Lan Qingming nodded in response. All right, go ahead. MHM. Qi Qingchen returned to her own quarters. After a brief respite, the group gathered in the dining hall for dinner in the evening, under the guidance of the palace maids. Lan Qingming entered the grand hall. Qi Qingchen sat beside her, and the tables were adorned with an array of dishes, all prepared by the royal chefs. Lan Qingming was astounded by the hundreds of exquisite dishes, exclaiming, truly, the royal chefs are exceptional. They have prepared so many unique and delectable dishes. Qi Qingchen, having noticed her gaze fixed on a platter of large shrimp, immediately understood her desire. She deftly used her chopsticks to peel the shrimp and place the tender meat onto Lan Qingming's plate, saying, "Ming'er, here, enjoy this." Lan Qingming's eyes lit up. She was always touched by Qi Qingqian's thoughtfulness. She had indeed wanted that dish, but its distance had deterred her from reaching for it. Gratefully, she said, "Thank you, Qingqian," savoring the shrimp in her bowl. Lan Qingming noticed Yi Qingyun and Ouyang Yu engaged in lively conversation over drinks. Qi Qingqian, however, chose to focus on ensuring Lan Qingming had enough to eat. Feeling a bit shy, Lan Qingming urged, "You should eat too." Chapter 75. Inquiring about Yun Yu's whereabouts, Qi Qingqian smiled gently. "It's all right. I've had my fill already. I merely wanted to serve Ming'er." Lan Qingming's heart fluttered wildly. He was so gentle. I might just fall for him. Meanwhile, Ouyang Yu, having indulged in too much drink, lay sprawled on the table, mumbling incoherently, "Yuer, I miss you so much. Why did this happen?" "No, you cannot die. I will save you," he muttered softly. Lan Qingming and the others exchanged glances, whispering, "Grandpa and Grandma. It seems Master is longing for his wife." Shui Wenxin sighed. "I too witnessed their love, yet I know not what transpired to cause their separation." She then turned to Yi Qingyun, asking, "Qingyun, do you know where Wen Yu is now?" Yi Qingyun set down his cup and shook his head. "I do not know. I have not kept up with their affairs. I had assumed they left together." Lan Qingming then suggested, "Uncle, why not send someone to investigate how Master's wife is faring? I overheard Uncle Lin say that she met with misfortune, which is why Master has been so despondent." "What? Ming'er, is that truly the case? How could Wen Yu have encountered such a fate?" Shui Wenxin exclaimed, visibly shocked. Wai Qingyun frowned. "That cannot be. Wasn't Wen Yu accompanying him on a visit home?" Lan Qingming shook her head in frustration. "Something happened along the way, but I am unclear on the details. Master refuses to speak of it, only stating that his wife has passed away. It seems he came to bid farewell, and previously mentioned that he hadn't even seen her one last time." Lan Qingming recounted what she had heard, and after pondering for a moment, Yi Qingyun instructed, "Send someone to investigate what has become of Wen Yu." "Understood, Your Majesty," the cloaked figure replied before swiftly departing. Lan Qingming sighed with relief. She wished to assist her master but felt powerless. With her uncle's help, things should improve. At the very least, they could ascertain her whereabouts, sparing her master from searching blindly. She did not wish to witness him deteriorate further. Noticing her somber expression, Qi Qingqian offered comfort, "Ming'er, do not be disheartened. If necessary, we can seek out answers together tomorrow. There must be a place here that relays various messages. We can inquire there and pay for the information." Lan Qingming's eyes brightened at his words. "Qingqian, you are so clever. I had not thought of that. Tomorrow, we shall go to the streets and ask around." "Excellent," Qi Qingqian replied with a gentle smile. That moment, Lan Yin supported Lan Yuaning, rising to say, "You all continue dining. I shall escort my wife back. She is feeling a bit fatigued." As everyone finished their meal and departed, Qi Qingqian escorted Lan Qingming to her quarters, lingering as he held her hand. "Ming'er, I miss you a little." Lan Qingming chuckled softly, teasing, "We see each other every day." Qi Qingqian blushed and gently kissed her near her lips. "Yet I still miss you. I long to marry you soon." Lan Qingming's cheeks flushed crimson, feeling somewhat bashful as she scanned her surroundings to ensure no one was watching. The night was dark, and they stood between their respective courtyards, Qi Qingqian embracing her tenderly. He then released her, waving goodbye. "Ming'er, go rest now." Lan Qingming nodded, replying, "Meichem, good night, good night." The following morning, Lan Qingming pulled Qi Qingqian outside the palace. Wai Qingyun, observing the two, kindly asked, "Ming'er, is there something you both need?" With a bright smile, Lan Qingming replied, "Uncle, we wish to take the palace token and explore the streets, to experience the local culture." Wai Qingyun chuckled. "Should I send along a few people to assist you with your purchases? You are unfamiliar with the area, they can guide you." Lan Qingming was reluctant to bring anyone along, fearing exposure, and quickly shook her head. "No need, Uncle. We can manage just fine, and we can store our items in space. Rest assured, we have a small map. We won't get lost," she added confidently. Wai Qingyun handed them a token with a hearty laugh. "All right, off you go." Just as Lan Qingming was about to turn away, he called out, "Aren't you taking some money? The prices here are quite steep. Will your funds suffice?" Qi Qingqian smiled. "We have enough." However, Yi Qingyun insisted on handing them a pouch of spirit stones, saying, "Niece, spend freely. If you run out, just ask your uncle for more. Lan Qingming gratefully accepted, smiling, "Thank you, uncle. I shall not be modest." After all, who could ever have too much money? Once they successfully exited, gazing at the bustling market, Lan Qingming pondered, "Qingchen, what should we do? I have no idea where to inquire." Qingchen smiled gently, leading her confidently. "Ming'er, I know the way, just follow me." Lan Qingming's eyes gleamed with excitement. "Qingchen, how do you know? Are you familiar with this place? Wait, didn't you come here with me?" Qingchen ruffled her hair playfully, saying, "You silly girl, I did some research beforehand. Otherwise, how would we navigate such a vast city?" Lan Qingming beamed, showering him with praise. "Impressive, Qingchen. I love your foresight. I need not ask around individually. I completely forgot to gather information yesterday." Qingchen chuckled. "No worries. Just leave everything to me." As they wandered aimlessly, Lan Qingming's attention was drawn to a stall selling delicious pastries, and she exclaimed, "Qingchen, let us buy some." Qingchen smiled warmly. "All right." He approached the vendor and, presenting a silver coin, said, "1 box, please." "Certainly, esteemed guest," the vendor replied, soon handing over a box of pastries. Ming'er, would you like to try one now? Lan Qingming waved her hand. "No, let us save it for later." "How much farther do we have to go?" Qingchen pointed to a nearby brothel. "It's just over there." Lan Qingming was taken aback, glancing between the brothel and him, incredulously asking, "Isn't that a brothel? How can I, a woman, go inside?" Qingchen chuckled softly, displaying a token. "You need a reservation here. I've already made one, so we can enter without issue." Qingchen escorted Lan Qingming to the entrance, and as he produced the sign, a servant promptly led them through a hidden passage, winding their way to the top floor. They bypassed the hall where the reception ladies awaited, and Lan Qingming, overwhelmed by the heavy scent of rouge, instinctively covered her nose. The servant brought them to a door and said, "Esteemed guests, our master awaits you inside." Chapter 76. Wangwen Pavilion. Lan Qingming followed Qingchen inside, where a screen obscured their view, yet a figure was faintly discernible. Qingchen bowed respectfully and spoke in a deep voice, "Senior, I seek an individual." A seductive male voice responded, "If you come to my Wangwen Pavilion seeking assistance, you must first part with some coin, starting at 1 spirit stone. A higher price guarantees aid." Lan Qingming's eyes widened in disbelief, her thoughts racing. "Is it truly this expensive? All my assets amount to merely 10,000 spirit stones." Qingchen produced a substantial bag of storage pouches, circumvented the screen, and placed it on the table, stating, "Master, we possess a total of 10,000 spirit stones. Kindly assist us in locating Yunyu and ascertain whether she is still alive." There was a prolonged silence within. The man did not speak, and a teacup shattered on the ground into 2 pieces. Qingchen, perplexed, called out again, "Master, can you not assist us?" However, was it not true that Wangwen Pavilion could resolve all worldly matters provided the payment was sufficient? The man chuckled softly, stepped around the screen, and gazed at the 2 distinguished young individuals before him, coldly inquiring, "What business do you have with Yunyu? What is your relation to her?" In that instant, Lan Qingming surmised that this master must know the Shermu, and she proactively recounted the entire situation. "Master, I am searching for my mentor. Yunyu is his beloved, yet her fate remains uncertain. We wish to discover her whereabouts." The man, clad in black and wearing a mask, scrutinized her intently. "Oh, and who is your mentor?" Lan Qingming furrowed her brow and retorted, "You at Wangwen Pavilion previously had no stipulation regarding inquiries into a guest's background. Payment alone sufficed for assistance, so, will you help us or not? If not, cease your prying and do not waste our time." She confronted him with indignation. The masked man erupted into laughter, his gaze fixed on Lan Qingming with amusement. "You are indeed an intriguing young lady, and your spirit appeals to me." Qingchen, upon hearing this, swiftly drew his knife, pointing it at the man, and coldly declared, "Is this how the master conducts business? Will you engage or not?" The man's eyes flicked towards Qingchen, and he replied with a smirk, "Of course I engage in business. I can reveal Yunyu's location immediately, but I fear your abilities may not suffice to rescue her. Moreover, she is likely only a corpse now." A faint sorrow emanated from the man. Lan Qingming, observing his poignant words, pressed, "You know Yunyu. What is your relation to her?" The man waved his sleeve and retreated behind the screen, indifferently tossing a note towards them. stating coldly, "Do not inquire about matters that do not concern you. The address is on the note. I warn you not to trespass recklessly, or your lives may be forfeit." Gazing at the note, Lan Qingming read the bold characters. "In the forbidden grounds of Wandi Academy, peril abounds." She hastily expressed her gratitude and departed. The masked man watched their retreating figures, his eyes deep with contemplation. Murmuring, "Sister Yun, Ouyang Yu has returned. What path shall you take now? Alas, I cannot bring you back. Our only hope lies with Ouyang Yu." Once outside the brothel, Lan Qingming clutched Qi Qingchun's arm and urgently presented the note. "Qingchun, what manner of place is this Wandi Academy? We are unaware of where the forbidden grounds lie. We must return and inquire with my mentor." Qi Qingchun nodded. "Very well, let us return." They hurried back to the palace, swiftly reaching Ouyang Yu's chambers, only to find them deserted. Lan Qingming searched the courtyard, calling, "Mentor, mentor, where are you?" Discovering that neither the rooms nor the study contained anyone, she seized a maid nearby, demanding, "Have you seen where my mentor has gone?" The maid trembled in fear, responding, "Master Ouyang likely went to find the emperor. Perhaps you should inquire in the main hall." Gratefully, Lan Qingming rushed to the main hall, but as she approached the door, a eunuch intercepted her. "Princess, are you seeking the emperor? However, he is currently occupied and may not have time." Before the eunuch could finish, Lan Qingming burst inside, exclaiming, "Uncle, what are you doing? I need to speak with you." Yi Qingyun set down the documents he was holding, a smile gracing his face as he regarded his rushing niece. "Niece, did you not go shopping? Why have you returned so swiftly? Have you run out of silver and come to seek my assistance?" He jested. Lan Qingming shook her head. "Uncle, I require your urgent help. Are you familiar with Wandi Academy? Where is it located?" Yi Qingyun, puzzled, inquired, "Ming, why do you wish to know about Wandi Academy? Do you intend to go there?" Lan Qingming replied, "No. Uncle, please just answer me." Though Yi Qingyun remained perplexed, he answered honestly, "Wandi Academy is the premier institution for cultivators on the imperial continent. It is situated atop a mountain." Lan Qingming pressed on, "Uncle, where has my mentor gone? Did he venture to Wandi Academy?" Yi Qingyun nodded in bewilderment. "Yes, Ming. How did you know? Your mentor came to bid farewell early this morning, stating he desired to return to Wandi Academy." In a state of urgency, Lan Qingming approached Yi Qingyun. "This is terrible. Uncle, my mentor must have gone alone to rescue Shimyu. It is fraught with danger. How can he manage alone? Uncle, we must hasten to aid him." She implored fervently. Yi Qingyun, bewildered, inquired, "Ming, what are you speaking of? What Shirmu? Yunyu, was she not missing? I visited Wangwen Pavilion today to inquire about Shirmu's whereabouts, and the master claims she is within the forbidden grounds of Wandi Academy. Surely my mentor would not recklessly trespass alone. He would surely be overwhelmed." Lan Qingming's words shocked Yi Qingyun, who exclaimed in astonishment, "How could Yunyu suddenly end up in the forbidden grounds? That place can only be entered, not exited. Given Ouyang Yu's character, he may indeed venture in to accompany her, but there are many traps within. They will likely be besieged by the elders of Wandi Academy." Yi Qingyun quickly dispatched servants to inform Yi Luoqiu and others of the situation, while he, accompanied by Lan Qingming and the waiting Qi Qingchen, mounted a flying spirit beast and soared towards Wandi Academy. Lan Qingming was consumed by worry, and Qi Qingchen consoled her, "Do not fret, Ming. Your mentor is fated to be protected. He will not suffer easily. Besides, perhaps the people of Wandi Academy have yet to notice him." Yi Qingyun frowned deeply, expressing his concerns. "The forbidden grounds are sealed by a barrier. Once activated or disturbed, it will alert everyone." Chapter 77. Rescuing Yunyu, a life-and-death struggle. This statement shattered Lan Qingming's fleeting hopes. She knew her mentor would surely find a way to breach the barrier. Within the palace, Yi Luoqiu and Xue Wenxin received word and hastily rode their flying spirit beasts to join them. Yi Qingyun reassured, "Ming, let us hope that this young man survives until we arrive. With my status, I should be able to persuade the elders of Wandi Academy to spare him. After all, he is the sect master's beloved disciple." However, it is strange that both Yun Yu and Ouyang Yu are disciples of the sect master at Wandi Academy. They are siblings by master and apprentice, yet their affections blossomed, and they had intended to wed years ago. However, circumstances led to their separation, and how did Yun Yu end up in the forbidden grounds? There were so many questions and uncertainties. What if the news was false? and Yunyu was not even there. Lan Qingming felt an unshakable conviction that Shermu was indeed within, her heart racing with unease. "Uncle, I believe the information we received is accurate. Shermu is likely inside at AS for why she is in the Forbidden Grounds. We shall discuss it after rescuing my mentor." "Very well," Yi Qingyun nodded in agreement. They soon reached the entrance of Wandi Academy, only to find it unguarded, allowing them to enter swiftly. Once inside, they discovered the place eerily deserted. With some disciples hastily rushing about, Yi Qingyun seized a male disciple, demanding, "What is the cause of this commotion? Surely something has transpired within." The male disciple, alarmed by their unfamiliar faces, recoiled, attempting to retreat, but was caught by the collar. He screamed, "Who are you? How dare you trespass into Wandi Academy? You must be with the senior brother." Yi Qingyun pinched the bridge of his nose, producing his insignia. "Clear your vision. I come with a purpose. Tell me what has transpired." Upon seeing the gleaming imperial token, the male disciple quickly knelt in fear. "Forgive me, Your Majesty, I did not recognize you." Today, the senior brother brazenly entered the Forbidden Grounds against the Elder's opposition. "And he is currently at the cliffside. I cannot provide further details. The barrier has already been breached, and we must evacuate quickly. I do not wish to die now." Lan Qingming, confused, asked, "Why would you die if the barrier of the Forbidden Grounds is breached?" The male disciple, casting a glance at the striking beauty before him, lowered his head bashfully, but answered honestly, "Beautiful lady, you are unaware that our academy's forbidden grounds are sealed to contain a monstrous beast. Should the barrier be breached, the beast will emerge to wreak havoc upon the world, and no one will be able to stop it. The elders are still striving to stabilize the barrier," resulting in a dispute with the senior brother. Upon hearing this, Lan Qingming hastily urged Yi Qingyun, "Uncle, we must hurry over, lest Master faces an uncertain fate." Yi Qingyun nodded, and the group quickly made their way to the cliff's edge, where a trembling barrier was on the verge of shattering. A cadre of elderly men clad in flowing white robes surrounded a blood-soaked man, standing resolutely in the center, sword in hand. As both sides remained at a stalemate, Yi Qingyun suddenly shouted, "What is going on here? This is sheer chaos." The group of elders turned to grant Yi Qingyun passage, respectfully exclaiming, "Your Majesty, Ouyingyu has gone mad, daring to disrupt the barrier of the forbidden ground. We are exerting ourselves to capture him." Utilizing a subtle pressure, Yi Qingyun immediately immobilized the elders in place and coldly retorted, "The entire imperial continent is aware of my friendship with Ouyingyu. You are intentionally opposing me and endangering my dearest friend. I asked there not a way to clarify matters first. You did not even inquire into the circumstances before launching an assault on him." The elders' expressions hardened, and a middle-aged man in a white robe stepped forward, reprimanding Yi Qingyun. "Do you truly believe that your status as emperor grants you the right to meddle in our academy's affairs? Do you comprehend the peril of the Forbidden Grounds barrier being breached? How many lives might be lost, and can you bear that burden? You have come today to aid Ouyingyu, have you not? Are you willing to forsake the lives of the populace to uphold your brotherly bond?" The man's words ignited a wave of anger among the elders, who collectively condemned Yi Qingyun, insisting, "Your Majesty, you should refrain from involving yourself in this matter. We must adhere to the Academy's rules regarding Ouyingyu's transgressions." Yi Qingyun amplified his pressure, his icy gaze sweeping over the assembly, finally resting on the middle-aged man who had just spoken, admonishing, "Is this truly your justification for wishing to eliminate him? Do you not even consider inquiring into the reasons behind his actions? It is shameful that you, who have watched him grow, so readily abandon him." The eldest elder appeared somewhat swayed, casting a pained look at Ouyingyu, who was drenched in blood, and stepped forward, solemnly asking, "Ouyingyu, would you explain why you trespassed into the forbidden ground?" Ouyingyu raised his eyes, filled with despair, his body swaying precariously. "Because Yunyu is trapped inside. I must rescue her immediately, or I shall never see her again. I implore the elders to show leniency and allow me to bring my master forth from seclusion. I assure you, Yunyu is maliciously imprisoned within. Someone has stolen my master's key to the barrier, and she has been confined for over a decade. I cannot fathom the suffering she has endured all these years. And now her life hangs in the balance." The elders exchanged glances, murmurs of sympathy rippling through the crowd. The eldest elder stepped forward to seek justice, reiterating, "Ouyingyu, are you certain Yunyu is within?" Only the sect leader can unlock this barrier. How could she possibly be trapped inside? Ouyang recounted the events of his past with Yunyu. At that time, I believed she had left without a word, only to discover she had been abducted. Eldest Elder, I am certain Yunyu is within. I beg you to save her. She is your own daughter, and you cannot bear to see her suffer in there for over a decade. Though I have yet to identify the true culprit, I guarantee that my information is accurate at this moment. Lan Xingming also stepped forward, presenting a note to the Eldest Elder. Eldest Elder, I procured this information regarding Yunyu from the Wangwen Pavilion at great expense. It states she is indeed within the forbidden ground and that it is fraught with danger. The Eldest Elder's eyes flickered with hesitation and sorrow. How can this be? Was she not married to you? How could she remain in the forbidden ground for so long? The Eldest Elder seethed. Who is responsible for this? Chapter 78. Has Yunyu lost her breath? The crowd fell into a heavy silence, and the middle-aged man in white, having seen the situation unravel, quietly slipped away. Ouyang, grievously injured, struggled to maintain his posture with the sword, suddenly coughing up blood, which prompted Lan Xingming to rush to his side. Master, are you all right? Quickly, take the elixir, she urged, retrieving it along with spiritual water from her spatial pouch. Qi Qingqian, concerned for her strength, assisted from the other side, facilitating Lan Xingming in administering the medicine. Ouyang shook his head, wiping the blood from his lips with a pained smile. I am fine. Eldest Elder, you must summon the sect leader to open the barrier, or Yunyu will perish. The Eldest Elder, equally anxious, dispatched someone to summon the sect leader. Stroking his graying beard while gazing at the barrier with a furrowed brow, Ouyang, I have watched you grow. I trust your character. However, the sect leader is currently in seclusion and may take a while to arrive. Ouyang bowed his head, an expression of anguish etched on his face. Eldest Elder, I apologize. It is my failure to protect her that allowed those with ill intentions to trap her in the forbidden ground for so long. The Eldest Elder had not anticipated that someone could harm his daughter right under his nose without his knowledge. I will certainly uncover the true culprit. This forbidden ground must open today. He was astonished that the perpetrator had acquired the key to the forbidden ground and had opened it in advance, revealing their negligence and vigilance. Before long, an elderly man of noble bearing approached. Riding a flying spiritual beast, an elder promptly recounted the events. Upon witnessing this, Ouyang immediately knelt in supplication. Master, I beseech you to open the barrier and save Sister Yun. The sect leader remained silent for a moment before solemnly declaring, the barrier of the forbidden ground requires my blood to be opened. Once I create a gap, all of you must wait outside while Ouyang and the others enter to search. But remember, you must exit within 3 days, or the barrier will seal once more, he warned. Ouyang, overwhelmed with gratitude, knelt deeply, exclaiming, Thank you, Master. We will surely find Sister Yun. The sect leader swiftly opened a small fissure in the barrier. And without hesitation, Ouyang leaped inside, followed closely by Lan Xingming and Qi Qingqian. Outside the barrier, Yi Luoqiu and the others arrived in haste, inquiring about the situation from Yi Qingyun. Where are Ming'er and the others? What transpired here? Yi Qingyun briefly recounted the recent events, his expression grave. Father, Mother, the forces behind this are likely formidable. It must be someone from the Wandi Academy, wielding significant power, or else how could they have obtained the key to the forbidden ground? Yi Luoqiu furrowed her brow at the barrier. Let us wait until Ming'er and the others emerge before discussing this further. Inside the barrier lay an expanse filled with dense woods. Lan Xingming arrived at a clearing and pulled Qi Qingqian, who had just entered with her, closer. Qingqian, Master, should we split up the search? The 3-day limit is too short, and this place is vast. Ouyang nodded in agreement. Very well, I will head northwest. You two take different directions. The trio swiftly dispersed, scouring every nook and cranny. Lan Xingming, with her formidable spiritual perception, could sense everything within 100 meters radius. Upon arriving at a certain spot, she released her consciousness to search, yet found nothing. Suddenly, she found herself by a small stream, where the water flowed upstream to reveal a waterfall concealing a faint barrier within a cave. Lan Xingming communicated with her spirit companion. Xiao Ling, can you discern what lies within? Xiao Ling shook her head helplessly. Little master, I cannot. However, I sense that there seems to be nothing inside. Given that this is a forbidden area, We should refrain from acting rashly and return to inform the others before coming back together. It must be said that Xiao Ling's suggestion was indeed wise. Lan Qingming promptly retraced her steps, finding that the other two had not yet returned, so she waited in place for a while. Soon, Ouyang Yu and Qi Qingchen returned, both appearing dejected. Ouyang Yu lamented, "I found nothing unusual. My area was entirely devoid of any signs." Qi Qingchen regarded her. "Ming'er, I also did not locate a single living place." Seeing their disappointment, Lan Qingming placed her hopes on the peculiar location she had discovered earlier. Speaking up, "Master, Qingchen, I believe I have found a strange place, but there is a faint barrier preventing entry, and the area below is filled with water." Ouyang Yu's eyes sparkled with interest as he quickly approached her. "Ming'er, please take me there." Lan Qingming nodded. "Very well." She led the two to the stream. Pointing to the waterfall above, "Master, there is a cave behind that waterfall, and it possesses a barrier." Ouyang Yu soared towards it, but was swiftly repelled by the barrier, crashing into the stream and staining the clear water with crimson. His already bloodied attire was further soaked, clinging to him. Lan Qingming hurriedly assisted Ouyang Yu, gently asking, "Master, do not rush. Let us first devise a way to breach the barrier." Ouyang Yu recognized the need for composure but was overwhelmed with complex emotions. Lan Qingming tentatively touched the barrier, discovering that while it was weak, it remained sturdy. Suddenly, an idea sparked in her mind. She picked up a stone from the ground and hurled it at the barrier, which effortlessly passed through. "Master, look, I have found a way in." Ouyang Yu's eyes gleamed with excitement as he urgently inquired, "Ming'er, what is your method?" Lan Qingming pointed to her bracelet, a mischievous grin spreading across her face. "I will enter the space and employ the same tactic as before, just like the time with my mother." Ouyang Yu promptly replied, "All right, Ming'er, you must ensure her safe return." Lan Qingming patted her chest and assured, "Rest assured, mastered." As Lan Qingming entered the spatial bracelet, Qi Qingchen, mirroring the previous occasion, bound the bracelet with a rope and tossed it into the barrier, successfully gaining entry. Ouyang Yu felt a surge of excitement. It truly worked. Once inside, Lan Qingming emerged into a chaotic space, littered with disordered stones, suggesting it had been uninhabited for years. Just as she pondered the absence of life, her hand inadvertently brushed against a hidden compartment in the wall. With a click, a coffin abruptly rose from the ground. An eerie chill enveloped Lan Qingming, causing her to hesitate. She hastily inquired of Xiao Ling, "Is there a living person or a corpse inside? Is it inappropriate to disturb someone else's coffin?" "I fear retribution." Chapter 79. The reunion of Ouyang Yu and Lan Qingming. Xiao Ling, with a resigned shake of her head, replied, "Young master, fret not. There lies a corpse, yet it still breathes." "What? A living corpse? That frightens me even more." Lan Qingming trembled, remaining a few steps away from the coffin. Xiao Ling urged, "What if it is Yunyu inside? You ought to take a look." Gathering her courage, Lan Qingming bowed thrice before the coffin, steeling herself to push it open. Inside lay an extraordinarily beautiful woman, dressed in white, cradling a blue sword. However, her complexion was pale, her lips devoid of color, exuding a chilling aura. A flicker of astonishment crossed Lan Qingming's eyes, and her fear began to wane. "This must be Yunyu, right? Perhaps I should carry her out for master to see. If it's not her, I can always return her." Xiao Ling nodded in agreement. "Young master." "That could work," Bai interjected. "Master, digging up someone else's coffin is truly indecent. What if she is not the person your master seeks? Disturbing her remains might invite her wrath." The mere thought sent a shiver down Lan Qingming's spine. She rubbed her stiff fingers and retorted, "What if she truly is? If I don't bring her out, our venture would be in vain." Lan Qingming respectfully bowed to the body, murmuring, "Elder, I did not mean to offend. If I have caused any disrespect, please forgive me." The Zhanshen sword scoffed derisively, exclaiming, "Who would have thought this woman fears ghosts while being fearless in all else? Pathetic. What are you saying? Young master is the most formidable." Xiao Ling countered. Ultimately, Lan Qingming summoned her resolve, collecting the beautiful woman's body into the spatial realm before entering herself. Outside, Qi Qingchen felt the rope slacken and promptly yanked it out. Once Lan Qingming emerged from the barrier, she immediately presented the exquisite woman's body. "Master, please see if this is the person you seek. I saw her inside the coffin, If not, I can return her." Before she could finish, Ouyingyu cried out. Embracing the stunning woman, weeping like a child, Lan Qingming gently touched her nose, reflecting on how fortunate she was to have brought her out. It was no wonder Master was so enamored. The beauty of his wife was striking. Aware that she should not intrude upon their moment, she discreetly withdrew, pulling Qi Qingchen to the other side of the tree to wait. Leaning against his shoulder, Lan Qingming could not contain herself. Recounting the earlier events, "I was truly frightened. I couldn't even touch the corpse." Qi Qingchen tenderly ruffled her hair, soothingly stating, "It's all right, Ming'er. Next time, I shall protect you." Lan Qingming smiled. It wasn't such a grave matter. "Haha, I merely wanted to share that I understand," Qi Qingchen replied, lowering his head to kiss her lips. Ouyingyu emerged from the forbidden realm, cradling Yunyu's icy body. Upon seeing a familiar face, the onlookers could not help but murmur in disbelief. "It's real. Someone truly opened the barrier and brought Sister Yun back. How terrifying. Who could have done such a thing? Sister Yun is so kind. Who would commit such a heinous act? Who knows? It might have been someone from our ranks, perhaps a secret admirer of Sister Yun, driven to madness." The disciples buzzed with speculation. The Grand Elder gazed at his ailing daughter with a pained expression. Urgently addressing Ouyingyu, "Ouyingyu, you must hasten to the Alchemy Elder and seek treatment. My poor daughter, I shall find the one responsible and avenge you," the Grand Elder declared fiercely. Ouyingyu, dazed, carried Yunyu to the Alchemy Elder. Pleading, "Elder, please save Sister Yun." The Alchemy Elder took her pulse, frowning, and sighed. "Ouyang, Yunyu's meridians are severely damaged, and her bodily functions are failing. Unless you can procure an extraordinary elixir, her life may be ruined. Furthermore, Yunyu is such a proud woman. She would never accept being unable to cultivate due to her damaged spiritual roots. To her, it might as well be death." Ouyangyu gazed at the frail girl on the bed, tears streaming down his cheeks. "Elder, I will find the medicine. Please tell me what I need. I shall seek it immediately." The Alchemy Elder stroked his graying beard, solemnly stating, "The medicine must be sought from another continent. The Ice Spirit Snow Nation, where in the frigid north grows a millennium-blooming snow lotus. The flowering cycle is typically a millennium, but Yunyu cannot afford to wait." Drenched in sorrow, Ouyangyu declared, "Elder, I will surely find it." Just as he turned to leave, he collided with the hastily arriving Lan Qingming. "Master, how is Mistress?" she inquired anxiously. Ouyang-Yu's expression darkened. "Yunyu is gravely injured. I must journey to the Ice Spirit Snow Nation to find a Millennium Snow Lotus. I do not know how long it will take, or if she can wait for my return." Lan Qingming quickly retrieved a Millennium Snow Lotus from her spatial realm. "Master, is this it? I have one. I picked it during my training in the northernmost region when I happened upon my grandparents. By the way, Master, how many do we need to save Mistress?" She presented a plump, white flower. Ouyang-Yu's eyes widened in disbelief as he gazed at the flower. "Ming'er, you actually have one." He excitedly called out to the elder inside the palace. "Elder, elder, come quickly. We have found the Millennium Snow Lotus." Initially skeptical, the elder emerged grumbling. "Ouyang-Yu, have you lost your mind? How could you find it before even setting out? There are no miracles in the heavens." Ouyang-Yu, holding the pristine flower before him, urged, "Elder, look, is this it? We must rescue Sister Yun." The elder's eyes flickered with surprise. "Indeed, miracles do occur. Quickly, bring me my alchemy furnace. I shall begin refining the elixir at once." Ouyang-Yu eagerly fetched the furnace, laboring diligently throughout the process, blood staining the palace floor. Eventually, Lan Qingming could no longer bear to watch and insisted, "Master, you should change your clothes and tend to your wounds first." Ouyang-Yu shook his head. "No, I wish to stay by her side." "Master, do you not wish for Mistress to awaken and see you in this state?" Chapter 80. The fifth elder is the culprit. Ouyang-Yu paused at her words and hurried away to clean himself up. "I cannot allow Yuer to see me in such a ghastly state. She would be repulsed." Lan Qingming sighed, observing the beautiful woman on the sickbed as the alchemy elder administered medicine. "She should awaken soon. Little one, stay here and watch over her. If anyone enters, call for me." The alchemy elder's murky eyes flickered, seemingly hinting at something. Lan Qingming, not thinking too much of it, nodded in agreement. "All right." After he departed, she settled into a chair nearby, meditating. About an hour later, a male disciple entered, carrying a bowl of medicine, head bowed. Miss, the elder sent me to deliver medicine to Sister Yun, he announced. Lan Qingming opened her eyes to observe him. The boy kept his gaze lowered, making it difficult to discern his features. A sense of familiarity tugged at her. His voice seemed vaguely recognizable. Noticing her scrutiny, the disciple grew anxious and spoke again. Miss, the elder said this is freshly brewed medicine that must be given to Sister Yun immediately. Recalling the elder's words before he left, Lan Qingming furrowed her brow and asked, "Who are you? What is your name? Which sect do you belong to?" The male disciple lifted his gaze, his expression inscrutable, and hesitantly replied, "I am merely a menial disciple of the Wan Di Academy, of low cultivation, without an assigned elder." Lan Qingming sighed in relief. Nodding, "You may leave it here. I shall feed it to her." The disciple hesitated, and sensing his reluctance, Lan Qingming's suspicions deepened. She hardened her expression, demanding, "Who are you really? Why do you linger?" Finally, the male disciple knelt, apologizing. "I am sorry, miss. I hesitated because the elder instructed me to watch over Sister Yun as she consumes the medicine and report back." Lan Qingming frowned, reiterating, "I say again, leave the medicine here and depart." That a flash of resentment crossed the disciple's eyes, and a concealed knife stirred within his sleeve. Approaching the table, he placed the soup down. Muttering, "Die! Those who thwart me deserve death." With a swift motion, he drew his knife and lunged at Lan Qingming. Anticipating the attack, Lan Qingming deftly tilted her head to evade it and retaliated with a surge of spiritual energy, transforming it into a fireball aimed at him. The male disciple revealed a fierce glint in his eyes, effortlessly dissolving her spiritual force, and reprimanded her. "Huh? Do you truly believe that as a mere green spirit you can best me? Arrogant child, I had intended to spare your life, yet you insist on resisting me." Furrowing her brows, Lan Qingming observed the black spiritual energy swirling around him, her heart sinking as she exclaimed, "You have succumbed to darkness. How did you infiltrate the Academy of 10,000 Emperors, and why do you seek to kill Yunyu?" Gazing at his familiar visage, a vivid memory flashed through her mind, prompting her to exclaim, "No, you are the elder who stood against my uncle back then. It was you who bound Yunyu to the forbidden grounds, wasn't it? You wish to ensure my master can never find her. To keep them apart, do you not? You must have ulterior motives. My master and his companions have obstructed your plans, so you resort to murder to silence them. On high alert for his next move." Lan Qingming meticulously analyzed the situation, her brow tightly knit. The man's terrifying countenance twisted in rage, and suddenly he burst into raucous laughter. "Ha! You are quite the clever woman, but alas, your luck has run out. You shall not see the dawn." He advanced menacingly toward her, forcing Lan Qingming to retreat until her back met the wall. In that instant, she swiftly produced talismans and magical artifacts from her spatial pouch and hurled them at him. The man nimbly dodged, unleashing an oppressive force that rendered Lan Qingming immobile. She knelt, gasping, as blood erupted from her lips. In the spatial realm, Xiao Ling anxiously urged, "Young mistress, quickly retreat into the space. This man is a Qing Ling. We cannot contend with him." Lan Qingming's gaze drifted to the woman on the sickbed, her resolve firm as she shook her head defiantly. "No, Master's wife is still here. If I flee, she will undoubtedly fall victim to this fiend." Xiao Ling, in a state of panic, suggested, "Shall we summon Xiao Bai and Qing Tong?" A spark of inspiration ignited within Lan Qingming, her lips curling into a provocative smirk as she addressed the man. "Hey, aren't you quite formidable? Why not face me in combat? Should you win, I and Yunyu shall be at your mercy. Should you lose, your reputation will be shattered." Secretly instructing Qing Tong to bind Yunyu and place her in the spatial realm, Lan Qingming diverted the man's attention as much as possible. Hearing her words, the man scoffed, mocking her audacity. "Ha! You are not worthy to be my opponent." Out of the corner of her eye, Lan Qingming saw Qing Ting cautiously extending its vines to ensnare Yunyu's body, her forehead damp with anxiety. That moment, the man's gaze shifted toward the sickbed, catching sight of Qing Tong in the act of binding. Before he could comprehend what was happening, Lan Qingming swiftly retracted the vines and secured Yunyu within the spatial realm, summoning Qiu Bai. The temperature in the room surged as the man glared at Lan Qingming, cursing, "You little brat, how dare you deceive me? Such a pathetic trick." The phoenix's form expanded rapidly, unleashing a torrent of flames upon the man. His body ignited, The fire refusing to extinguish, he writhed in agony on the ground. Yet his eyes glinted with greed as he gazed at the phoenix. I never imagined you possessed a divine beast. You do not deserve it. It belongs to me, and I shall slay you. Ah, it burns. Why won't this fire go out? Truly, the flames of a divine beast are treasures meant for me. The man screamed in madness, and Lan Qingming hastily bound him with Qing Tong's vines. The flames continuing to consume his flesh, causing it to rot at an alarming rate. Meanwhile, outside, many felt the surge of spiritual energy and rushed in, gasping at the brutal scene before them. Qi Qingchen swiftly approached Lan Qingming. Checking her condition, "Ming'er, are you all right? Are you injured?" Lan Qingming shook her head. "I am fine." This man sought to frame Yunyu. It was all his doing. The elders and the sect leader quickly arrived. And upon grasping the situation, they immediately detained the man. Ouyangyu, filled with sorrow, cradled Yunyu's body, weeping. "I'm so sorry. Yet I nearly lost you again. I shouldn't have left." Lan Qingming sighed, offering comfort. "Master, this is not your fault. I never expected the true culprit would come knocking at our door." Ouyangyu managed a bittersweet smile, recalling, "It turns out everything was the doing of Elder Wu." Chapter 81. Yunyu awakens. Lan Qingming inquired. Perplexed, "Is Elder Wu the man from earlier?" Ouyangyu contemplated for a moment and nodded. "Yes, he has always harbored resentment against me." Reflecting on past events, Ouyangyu's expression turned melancholic. "Ultimately, it is my fault. I have brought misfortune upon Yunyu. She was unwillingly dragged into this. Elder Wu has always coveted the position of sect leader, but my master had designated me for it, inciting his ire. He has attempted to assassinate me multiple times and even sent people to frame me, yet I never retaliated, never anticipating he would overreach and harm my dearest. We were on our way home to visit family when Yunyu mysteriously disappeared. I could not uncover her whereabouts, and I assumed she had left alone, unwilling to marry me." Upon hearing this, Lan Qingming felt a heaviness in her heart and consoled, "Master, all that is in the past. The true villain has been apprehended, and you will surely find happiness again." Ouyangyu smiled faintly, stroking Yunyu's hand. "You, when will you awaken? I miss you so much." Yunyu's fingers twitched slightly, and Ouyangyu's heart raced as he noted the warmth returning to her body. That he hurriedly called for the elder of medicinal herbs. "Elder, come quickly. I just saw her move." Ouyangyu, filled with excitement, pulled the elder toward the bed to check her pulse. The elder cleared his throat, smiling. "In a few hours, Yunyu will awaken." Ouyangyu rejoiced. "That's wonderful. Should we prepare some medicine for her?" The elder shook his head. "The 1,000-year snow lotus has already provided ample nourishment. No further medicines are necessary." Ouyangyu beamed, eagerly anticipating Yunyu's awakening. Lan Qingming took the initiative to step outside. Resting with Qi Qingchen in a pavilion for a moment, sipping on 7th-grade monkey wine, she poured a cup for him as well. "Qingchen, have a drink. I'm utterly exhausted from that battle. My spiritual energy is depleted. Finally, I can take a breather." However, Master and Master's wife have endured such heart-wrenching experiences. The pain of unattainable love is truly regrettable, yet thankfully they have reunited. Qi Qingchen smiled gently. "Indeed, Ming'er, I am relieved you are unharmed. I was quite frightened just now." After sharing several cups of monkey wine, Lan Qingming suddenly brightened. "Drinking alone is rather dull. We should have something to eat." Qi Qingchen produced a platter of roasted chicken, offering, "Ming'er, here, eat. I bought this at the inn, thinking you would enjoy it." Lan Qingming's eyes sparkled. "Wow, I love it." Inside the room, Yunyu slowly opened her eyes, gazing in confusion at the unfamiliar ceiling, her voice hoarse. "Where is this? Why do I feel as though I am back in the Academy of 10,000 Emperors?" Letting out a bitter smile, she self-deprecatingly murmured, "I must be imagining things. I was clearly in the forbidden grounds." Just then, Ouyangyu burst in, and upon seeing the girl sitting on the bed, he was overcome with joy, rushing forward to embrace her, exclaiming, You have finally awakened. Do you remember me? Are you in any discomfort?" Yunyu, bewildered, recognized the familiar face, her fingers curling as tears streamed down her cheeks. "That I must be dreaming. Is this paradise, allowing me to see the one I long to meet the most?" she murmured to herself, trembling as she choked out, "Ouyang, I miss you so much. We haven't even married yet." Ouyangyu, filled with excitement, reassured her, "Do not cry. We will marry soon. I promise. Yunyu, hearing his familiar voice, questioned in disbelief. Am I truly in reality? Is it really you? Ouyang, you have come for me. Ouyang pinched himself hard, leaving a red mark, and excitedly showed her his hand. You are not dreaming. I brought you out from the forbidden grounds. We are at the Academy of 10,000 Emperors. Yunyu's eyes brimmed with tears as she clung to him, sobbing uncontrollably. Oh, it truly is you. I waited for you for so long. The days I spent alone in that dark abyss were unbearable. I'm sorry, it is my fault. I lost you. Ouyang repeatedly apologized, and after a while, Yunyu, exhausted from crying, rested in his embrace, only to realize her behavior was improper. She quickly sat up. Her face flushed, unable to meet his gaze. Ouyang, where are my father and the sect leader? Ouyang recounted the events that had transpired outside. It was all the doing of Elder Wu. Now, Master and the Grand Elder are interrogating him. He has succumbed to darkness. Yunyu hesitated for a moment before replying. He possesses the key to the forbidden grounds. We must retrieve it first. He likely has hidden it away. Furrowing his brow, Ouyang agreed. All right, let us inform Master. Yunyu rose, affirming, yes. Ouyang gazed at her tenderly, extending his hand. This time, hold on tightly to me. I promise I will not lose you again. Having experienced such trauma, Yunyu felt a shadow of doubt lingering in her heart as she grasped his hand. All right, together, they arrived at the sect leader's palace, where the Grand Elder and the sect leader were binding Elder Wu. Conducting an interrogation, Yunyu called out sweetly, Master, Father. The Grand Elder, filled with excitement, turned around to behold his daughter's recovery. In a flurry of concern, he rushed over to examine her condition, only to breathe a sigh of relief upon confirming her safety. You err, he admonished gently. You have only just awakened. Do not rush about. You must nurture your health. I have an abundance of supplements and elixirs here. Take these and consume them first. Reluctantly, Yunyu accepted a large array of supplements. Feeling touched as she embraced the Grand Elder and lamented, Father, I have missed you dearly. It has been far too long since we last met. The Grand Elder's heart ached at the sight of his daughter being harmed right under his watchful eyes. You err. I am deeply remorseful for failing to protect you. If your mother were watching from above, she would surely harbor resentment towards me. Yunyu comforted him. That is not true. You have always treated me with utmost kindness. It is merely that a scoundrel took advantage of the situation. The sect master, filled with guilt, interjected, Yunyu, this is my failure as your master. I allowed a rogue elder within our ranks to inflict such harm upon you. Yunyu shook her head, saying, Master, this is not your fault. It was the fifth elder who stole the key to the forbidden grounds. He harbors jealousy towards Senior Ouyang, coveting the position of sect master, which you have already decided to bestow upon Senior Ouyang. Therefore, he has repeatedly schemed against us, and this time he sought to use me as leverage to threaten Senior Ouyang. Upon hearing Yunyu's words, the fifth elder glared at her in fury, exclaiming, I warned that anyone who obstructs my path deserves death. How I regret not having ended your life at the outset, leaving you as a source of calamity. Ouyang, infuriated, unleashed a surge of spiritual energy toward him, chastising, Silence. Had I known you would harm those around me, I would have flayed you alive long ago. I initially spared you to avoid unnecessary conflict. The fifth elder cackled madly, his demeanor frenzied as he glared at them with malice. You remain blissfully unaware, do you not? Not only did I allow Yunyu to enter, but I also caused the separation of the Yi family. Alas, I never anticipated their escape. Ouyang's expression hardened as she retorted angrily. So it was you who orchestrated the rift between Lan Yin and Yi Yuaning, and it was you who sent people to hunt them down. What do you seek to gain? The fifth elder laughed maniacally. I desire the heirloom of the Yi family, but regrettably, Yi Yuaning refuses to yield it. Thus, I have confined her within an artifact, subjecting her to ceaseless torment, ensuring she meets a despairing end in darkness. Surrounding him was an ominous aura, his features twisted into a grotesque expression. The sect master swiftly harnessed his spiritual power to bind him, urgently declaring, Everyone, be cautious. His demonic energy has surged unexpectedly. Ouyang instinctively shielded Yunyu behind her, whispering, stay close to me. Yunyu gazed at the man standing protectively before her, feeling a surge of emotion as she grasped his hand, saying, I am unharmed. My spiritual energy has partially recovered. He cannot harm me, especially with Master and my father present. Ouyang Yu nodded in affirmation. The sect master then communicated telepathically to the disciples outside. Summoned the Yi family members at once. Ouyang Yu understood that this individual posed a greater threat than first perceived. His targets extended beyond just himself, having also harmed the Yi family. Thus, the approach to address him required careful deliberation from both sides. Yi Luo Qiu and Shui Wenxian, among others, hurriedly arrived, witnessing the fifth elder enveloped in demonic energy, and asked the sect master, "Why have you summoned me? It appears there is a being tainted with demonic energy among your ranks. This warrants a thorough investigation, lest the disciples within our sect be in peril." The sect master sighed in resignation, nodding in agreement. "This is indeed my oversight. I will intensify the scrutiny throughout the sect. However, this individual bears a connection to your family." Yi Qingyun's eyes flickered with confusion as he inquired. "Oh? Our family has never been associated with the demonic path." Ouyang Yu recounted the recent events. "So it was he who harmed the princess and her consort. Qingyun, what do you propose we do? I suspect he has someone backing him. How else could he orchestrate harm to so many? Especially when he lacks access to the realm of the dead?" Lan Ying glared angrily at the man on the ground, cursing. "It was you who caused my separation from Ninger. You were the one pursuing us. I even tore off your mask." Enraged, Lan Ying drew his sword, pressing it against the fifth elder's throat, threatening, "Speak. What are your true intentions? Why pursue us?" The fifth elder's malevolent gaze bore down upon him. Inducing trepidation, he scoffed. "I seek the legendary bracelet, which I have heard is in Yi Yuaning's possession. It is her own fault for being disobedient and refusing to surrender it. Rumor has it that the Yi family's bracelet is filled with treasures. Whoever possesses it will be hailed as a prodigious genius, and with it, I shall ascend. Ha! Alas, just one step away, and yet I still do not possess it." The fifth elder's gaze shifted, suddenly fixating on the corner where Lan Qingming stood. A peculiar smile playing upon his lips. "But even if I do not possess it, it matters not that I now know its whereabouts. You cannot kill me, as long as I eliminate her, the bracelet will be mine." Qi Qingchen hastily shielded Lan Qingming behind her, emanating a formidable aura and sword energy. The fifth elder laughed maniacally. "Foolish child, do you aspire to be a hero rescuing a damsel in distress? Your Yi family is truly peculiar, always yearning to play the hero. Yet, you are but pawns in my game. You are no more than that. What of the royal family? They are but waste beneath my feet. Ha ha ha, I shall surely ascend." The fifth elder suddenly laughed heartily, casting his gaze skyward as dark energy descended, enveloping him. QB suddenly appeared, calling out to Lan Qingming, "Master, hurry up. I know where he is. I will lead you to him." Seizing the moment, Lan Qingming swiftly leapt onto the phoenix's back, with Qi Qingchen reacting quickly to follow suit. As QB soared into the sky with them, Yi Luo Qiu and the others, seeing this, hurriedly pursued. QB carried Lan Qingming through the air, stating solemnly, "I've located him, Master. His aura is directly below. However, there seems to be something even more powerful nearby. Surely it is what saved him. Master, should we descend? There may be peril." QB hesitated within. Lan Qingming nodded decisively, "Let us descend. If danger arises, we can retreat into the spatial realm." Qi Qingchen firmly grasped her hand, assuring, "Ming'er, I will protect you. Do not worry. Even if I perish, I will not allow you to be harmed." Lan Qingming smiled gently, "I do not wish for you to die. Rest assured, I have my own methods." QB concealed them behind a tree, observing a man clad in black with a hood. The fifth elder knelt before him in a pitiful manner, seemingly pleading, "Boss, I have failed. I did not secure it." The man in black scolded him furiously, "Useless fool. Not only did you fail to procure the item, but you also exposed yourself and required my rescue, just as they have arrived. You are a failure in every sense. If it were not for your remaining value, I would have," before the black-clad man could finish. He sensed a sharp wave of spiritual energy approaching from his side and immediately conjured a barrier of demonic energy. With cold eyes fixed ahead, he barked, "Since you are all here, come forth. Do not hide." Lan Qingming and Qi Qingchen swiftly descended, while Yi Luo Qiu and the others approached from another direction, the fifth elder anxiously hiding behind the man in black. The man, with his hands clasped behind his back. Exuded confidence. You are one of the demonic faction, the Demon King. Yi Luoqiu stated coldly, swiftly drawing his sword. The man in black laughed heartily, a disdainful gaze directed at him. Indeed, you are quite astute. However, your Yi family will not be as fortunate as before. With your entire clan present, you shall all meet your demise here. The Demon King unleashed a torrent of surging demonic energy, causing the surrounding trees to sway ominously. At that moment, Lan Qingming stood behind the others. The demonic energy was intercepted by Yi Luoqiu, yet he coughed up blood violently. Shui Wen Xian rushed to support him, worriedly asking, "Are you all right?" "This is bad. The Demon King's energy appears stronger than before. What should we do?" Lan Yin quickly produced numerous magical artifacts, surrounding them to form a barrier of spiritual energy to fend off the demonic onslaught. He hurled several offensive artifacts toward the Demon King, but they were easily dodged. The Demon King toyed with the artifacts in his hand, scrutinizing them before discarding them with derision. "Lan Yin, is this all the strength you possess? It seems the cultivators of your realm are pathetically weak, barely half the strength of this demon lord. I shall unify the realms of the demonic world, eradicating all remnants of your cultivation sect. Especially you self-proclaimed gentlemen of the righteous path. I detest your kind the most, those who feign virtue while erecting false faades. I truly do not comprehend why those foolish humans idolize you. Why they so fervently support you." After finishing his taunts, the Demon King quickly formed a seal with his hands, unleashing a torrent of black demonic energy toward them as thunder cracked in the sky. Yi Luoqiu called upon everyone to channel their energy into him. Quickly, Little Ling urgently advised her, "Young master, relying solely on your strength will not suffice. We must outsmart him." Lan Qingming furrowed her brow, questioning, what weaknesses does this Demon King possess? What fears does he harbor? Little Ling suggested, "How about we have Qing Ting launch a surprise attack from behind? However, if discovered, your life may be at stake." Lan Qingming's eyes sparkled with resolve as she replied, "No matter. I can manage. Grandfather and grandmother are already on the brink of collapse." At this moment, the protective barrier of spiritual energy surrounding them had already shattered by more than half. Just then, the sect master, accompanied by numerous elders, rushed over to lend their support. The Demon King, witnessing this, revealed a playful smile, remarking to himself that with so many people arriving, today was bound to be lively. It seemed there would be a massacre in the realm of cultivation that he mused about whether such a vast amount of spiritual energy could satiate his little pet. Suddenly, the Demon King produced a crimson orb and hurled it into the sky, which rapidly darkened, unleashing a rain of icy daggers. Numerous ice shards struck flesh, drawing forth blood, and many elders collapsed, succumbing to poison. Observing the chaos, the crowd hastily summoned their spiritual energy to shield themselves. Qi Qingqian remained steadfast in protecting Lan Qingming, anxious for her safety, and offered comforting words. "Ming'er, it's all right." At that moment, Lan Qingming communicated with Xiao Ling and Qiu Bai through her spiritual consciousness. Drawing forth the god-slaying sword, she whispered to Qi Qingqian, "Qingqian, let us circle around to his rear." Qi Qingqian, worry etched on his face, regarded her with concern. "Ming'er, what do you intend to do? Allow me to assist you." "It is far too dangerous for you." Lan Qingming shook her head resolutely. "No, I cannot stand idly by while you risk your life. We shall go together. Rest assured, I will protect you." Ultimately, Qi Qingqian followed Lan Qingming silently, weaving through the crowd without a sound. Meanwhile, the sect master and Yi Luoqiu continued to engage the Demon King, striving to divert his attention. At this juncture, the crimson light on Lan Qingming's forehead flickered incessantly, her fire spiritual energy intensifying. She extended vines from the surrounding greenery to launch an assault on the Demon King. Now is the moment. Seizing the opportunity, she brandished the god-slaying sword to attack, while Qiu Bai unleashed flames from another direction. Qi Qingqian, witnessing this, quickly joined in, unleashing his spiritual energy from yet another angle. Regrettably, their spiritual energies proved too feeble, swiftly repelled by the Demon King's defenses. Lan Qingming collapsed to the ground, spitting blood. Her attack had only grazed the Demon King's fur. With a fierce gaze, the Demon King glared at them. "You dare to launch a sneak attack? I shall annihilate you." He split the spiritual energy in his hands, sending multiple shards hurtling toward them. At that moment, Lan Qingming felt as though her body was ablaze, and suddenly, a red lotus blossomed around her. The lotus swiftly enveloped her, effectively shielding her from the demonic energy. Grasping the god-slaying sword, Lan Qingming proclaimed, "Flame sword technique, 5th style, source of fire." Instantly, flames erupted from the ground, the temperature rising alarmingly, forcing the Demon King to remain rooted in place. The vines ensnared him, with one tendril piercing his body to absorb his demonic energy. The 5th elder, lying on the ground, attempted to flee but was swiftly ensnared by Lan Qingming. He immediately begged for mercy. "I apologize. Please spare me. He compelled me to act. I do not wish to die." Lan Qingming bound him before Yi Yuaning and Yunyu, stating, "Mother, I leave him to your discretion. Killing him now would be far too easy. Let us instead enjoy the pleasure of tormenting him." Yi Yuaning nodded, filled with disdain. "Very well, Ming'er." The 5th elder, realizing his fate was sealed, attempted to bite his tongue in a desperate act of suicide, only to be silenced by Lan Qingming, who seemed to possess foresight. "Hush!" The 5th elder could only watch in agony, his body writhing in futile resistance as the bindings tightened around him. The group returned to the Wan Di Academy, where the sect master consented to their handling of the situation. Yi Yuaning bound the 5th elder with iron chains, reminiscent of her own past, and picked up a whip to strike him mercilessly. Ultimately, the 5th elder met his demise amidst suffering and despair. Following this, Lan Qingming finally relaxed, collapsing wearily onto her bed. Her spiritual energy had been entirely depleted, and she had pushed herself to reach her room. Qi Qingqian tenderly cared for her, gently brushing her forehead with concern. The group returned to the royal palace, where Ouyangyu and Yunyu enjoyed a blissful life at Wan Di Academy. Recently, Ouyangyu had been preoccupied with wedding preparations, distributing invitations for the ceremony planned to be held at the academy. With little to occupy her time, Lan Qingming would occasionally assist in the arrangements, offering suggestions along the way. "Master, does the mistress know how much effort you are putting in?" she asked with a smile. Ouyangyu beamed, responding, "It is all my own volition. There is no need for her to know. She need only be a beautiful bride." Lan Qingming couldn't help but feel a twinge of envy, rubbing her arms as goosebumps formed. "Goodness, I can't take it anymore. Hurry up and get married and have a child." Ouyangyu chuckled, jesting, "Not so fast. We need the mistress's approval first." Lan Qingming, with a mischievous grin, replied, "As long as the mistress will surely agree. The children of the master and mistress will undoubtedly be stunning." Upon hearing her words, Ouyangyu couldn't help but dream of the future. Just then, Yunyu entered, noticing the two engaged in conversation, and asked with a smile, "What secret are you two sharing?" Chapter 84. Ouyangyu's wedding. Lan Qingming immediately stood up, exclaiming, "Mistress, the master said he can't wait to have a child with you." She quickly threw her master under the bus. Hearing this, Yunyu's face flushed with embarrassment, and she coughed awkwardly. Stammering, she replied, "Isn't that a bit premature?" The betrayed Ouyangyu, feeling momentarily awkward, shot an irritated glance at Lan Qingming, rebuking, "Go away, you little brat. Stop making nonsense." Lan Qingming made a face, loudly declaring, "Mistress, the master really did say that. When are you planning to marry him? He wants to throw you a grand wedding." Yunyu cast a teasing glance at Ouyangyu, playfully scolding, "Don't corrupt the child. Your words are so reckless." Ouyangyu, chastised by his wife, refrained from retorting, acknowledging, "Yes, our grand wedding is just a few days away. I've already sent out the invitations." Embarrassed, Yunyu nodded, "Yes, I know. It doesn't have to be extravagant." Ouyangyu retorted, "How can it not be grand? You are the wife I have long yearned for, and I must proclaim to the world that you are mine." Yunyu felt a bit bashful at his words, playfully rebuking, "Ouyang, Ming'er is still here." At this moment, Lan Qingming, ever perceptive, interjected, "Master, mistress, I haven't heard a thing. Please, continue, I shall take my leave." With that, she exited and closed the door behind her. On the day of the wedding, Ouyangyu donned a celebratory outfit to marry Yunyu, and disciples of the Wan Di Academy gathered to attend. The academy was adorned with red couplets and festive decorations. Lan Qingming served as the maid of honor, pulling Qi Qingqian to sit at the banquet, watching the newlyweds bow to each other. Unable to suppress her envious gaze, she sighed, "Master and mistress, their journey has not been easy. They finally have their happy ending. Noticing the envy in her eyes, Qi Qingchen tenderly gazed at her, promising, Ming'er, I will give you an even more magnificent wedding. You must trust me. Lan Qingming was momentarily taken aback, then smiled in surprise, waving her hand. Sure, but our wedding is still a long way off. I don't even know when it will happen. It's too early to discuss this now. Qi Qingchen looked at her with gentle eyes filled with anticipation. Ming'er, if you wish to marry, I am ready to wed you at any moment. You need not worry about the wedding arrangements. I will handle everything. Lan Qingming was momentarily stunned by his earnest promise, smiling softly. Let us discuss it when the time comes. She knew she couldn't agree just yet. For she had traversed from another world, uncertain of how long she could remain here or if she might suddenly depart. The thought of leaving made her reluctant. Hearing her rejection, Qi Qingchen felt a pang of disappointment. All right. Lan Qingming lifted her cup, contentedly sipping her drink. In her previous life, she had traversed the entertainment industry, transforming from a girl who abstained from alcohol into a seasoned drinker. Every banquet required her to consume copious amounts of liquor with various patrons while remaining alert to avoid being taken advantage of or captured by paparazzi. She once ended up in the hospital after a particularly excessive drinking session while auditioning for a role, requiring gastric lavage. Qi Qingchen remained by her side, watching her down cup after cup, advising, Ming'er, you should drink less. You'll end up drunk. Lan Qingming, her eyes glazed, gazed at him and instinctively caressed his face. You are truly handsome, more so than any male star in the entertainment industry. Qi Qingchen's eyes flickered with confusion. This was the second time he had heard her mention male stars, and a twinge of jealousy surged within him, wondering if they were someone she had once admired. Yet, the fact that she found him more attractive than those stars was reassuring. A mix of exasperation and amusement washed over him, and he resolved to have Qing Shen investigate who this male star was. Meanwhile, on another continent, Qing Shen stifled a yawn, rubbed his nose, and muttered, Could it be that the master is missing me? I wonder how things are going for the master and Miss Lan on that other continent. Lan Qingming leaned against Qi Qingchen, reaching for her cup, repeatedly murmuring, I can still drink. I want more. Seeing her intoxicated state, Qi Qingchen quickly scooped her up in a princess carry and exited the banquet. Lan Qingming wriggled uncomfortably in his arms, struggling to be set down. Put me down. I'm not drunk. I want a drink. With a resigned sigh, Qi Qingchen could only placate her with words. All right, little ancestor, when we return to the room, I will let you drink. Lan Qingming, filled with dissatisfaction, pinched the flesh of his face, leaving an instant red fingerprint. Suddenly leaning closer, she bit him on the cheek, leaving a neat row of teeth marks. Qi Qingchen, caught between laughter and tears, inhaled sharply, gently patting her bottom while coaxing, Ming'er, behave yourself, or I shall leave you here. Unexpectedly, Lan Qingming burst into tears at this. Her tears streaming down as she complained, Woo, you hit me. How could you? You bully me. I will never play with you again, bad person. Seeing her sobbing like a rain-soaked pear blossom, Qi Qingchen's heart ached, and he hurried to wipe her tears, softly saying, I apologize, Ming'er, it was my fault. I won't bully you anymore. Lan Qingming continued to sob, her cries shaking her body. Exhausted from her tears, she nestled in Qi Qingchen's embrace to rest. After a struggle, Qi Qingchen finally managed to carry her to the room, only to find that she had fallen asleep. He could only shake his head helplessly. He laid her gently on the bed and covered her with a blanket. Just as he was about to leave, he felt his sleeve tugged by a force. Turning around, he discovered that the girl had kicked off the blanket and was clutching his sleeve with one hand. She was mumbling in her sleep. Qi Qingchen had no choice but to sit by the bed, watching her tenderly. Unexpectedly, after a while, she snuggled closer, wrapping her arms tightly around his waist, suddenly crying out, Grandma, no, don't leave me. It seemed that Lan Qingming was ensnared in a nightmare, weeping uncontrollably. Although Qi Qingchen was puzzled about the identity of the grandma she mentioned, he gently stroked her back with one hand and softly called out, Ming'er, it's all right, I will stay with you. The next morning, Lan Qingming awoke feeling an uncomfortable weight pressing down on her. Struggling to free herself, she suddenly touched a hard chest and opened her eyes in terror. Why are you in my room? Chapter 85. Confession of crossing over. Qi Qingchen rubbed his eyes and pointed to his numb arm. Ming'er, this isn't me taking advantage of you. You were the one who held on to me tightly all night. He then pointed to the torn sleeve on the bed. Look, this is the evidence of your actions yesterday. Seeing this, Lan Qingming could only scratch her head in embarrassment and apologize. I'm sorry. I was drunk and can't remember. Qi Qingqian gazed at her tenderly, a gleam of triumph in his eyes, and softly asked, Ming'er, would you like to get up for breakfast? Suddenly sitting up, Qi Qingqian's shirt opened, revealing his well-defined abs. Lan Qingming's face flushed crimson as she quickly averted her gaze, stammering. You should put on some clothes first. Her eyes occasionally darted towards him, unable to suppress her admiration for his physique. Qi Qingqian, intentionally teasing her, was surprised to find that Lan Qingming was entirely taken in by it. Though she protested shyly, her body betrayed her honesty. Lan Qingming's soft hand instinctively reached out, complimenting, your chest muscles are well trained. They feel great. Now it was Qi Qingqian's turn to feel a bit shy, hastily putting on his shirt and saying, Ming'er, you shouldn't speak so boldly. You are a lady. Lan Qingming pouted, it's fine. After all, you are my man. It's only natural for me to see. Qi Qingqian felt a surge of joy within, allowing his shirt to loosen even more. However, he maintained a serious demeanor and asked, Ming'er, yesterday you kept calling out for your grandma. Is she your family? But aren't he your family right here? He continued, and you often mention some strange terms like male celebrity. Was he someone you liked? At this question, Qi Qingqian felt a twinge of anxiety. Hoping for her honest response, yet fearing the truth might be as he suspected, he knew he would undoubtedly feel jealous. Lan Qingming froze for a moment, a sudden shock coursing through her. Just as she was about to concoct an excuse, Qi Qingqian suddenly embraced her, gazing seriously into her eyes, speaking each word with conviction. Ming'er, I hope you can tell me the truth. I wish for our relationship to be devoid of lies. No matter what the answer is, I will accept it. Moreover, I have already determined that you shall be my partner for life. I will never betray you. If I do, may the heavens strike me down. Ming'er, I truly wish to understand your past, but if you do not wish to share, that is perfectly fine. Qi Qingqian looked at her gently. Lan Qingming found herself at a loss for words. Fearing that revealing the absurdity of her situation would lead others to think her mad, or that she had usurped the original owner of this body, she worried that the love she had now received from her grandparents and parents would vanish. Conflicted, Lan Qingming's struggle was evident in her eyes. Although Qi Qingqian felt a pang of disappointment, he still comforted her. Ming'er, if you don't want to speak, then don't. I want to pressure you. Lan Qingming took a moment, then slowly began to recount her story of crossing over. Qingqian, perhaps you will find what I am about to say absurd, but it truly happened to me. I hope you won't tell anyone else for now. All right. Qi Qingqian nodded earnestly. All right, Ming'er, I promise I am someone you can trust. Lan Qingming spoke at length. Actually, I come from another world, a place called Earth, where people live harmoniously without the need for cultivation or fighting. As the spiritual energy there is very weak, my original occupation was an actress, and just as I was about to win an award for Best Actress, I was betrayed by a fellow performer who kidnapped my grandmother to threaten me. I followed her instructions and went to a hillside, giving up my chance at the award because I only had one family member in that world. My grandmother. I would never abandon her. But when I finally reached the summit, I saw my grandmother fall and tumble off the cliff. I was devastated, and then the landslide occurred. When I opened my eyes, I found myself in this foreign world. In this body that I was completely unfamiliar with the concept of cultivation here. I have thought about returning home, but it seems there is nothing worth returning to. However, in this world, I have gained grandparents, parents, you, and a master. The love you all give me makes me feel warm and cherished, so I fear that if I reveal this, my grandparents and parents would find it hard to accept, for the true Lan Qingming has already perished under the lashes of the General Lan's household. I am merely an imposter. Lan Qingming covered her face in despair, crying out in anguish. Qi Qingqian was momentarily frozen, slowly processing her words. Assuming he could not accept her, she despaired. Qingqian, if you cannot accept me, then let it be. Qi Qingqian quickly regained his composure and embraced her, gently comforting her. Ming'er, I do not feel that way. I am merely pained by your experiences, having worked so hard yet not gaining what you desired. But rest assured, I will provide you with everything you seek. Ming'er, I grieve for the loss of your grandmother, but please do not leave me. If you return, you must take me with you. Qi Qingqian pleaded. Lan Qingming's emotions were complicated at that moment, and she asked, You wouldn't think I have usurped the original owner's life, would you? Everything I have now belongs to her. Qi Qingchen shook his head. I do not think so. Had you not come, this body would have perished in the Lan General's household, and perhaps none of what has happened afterward would exist, Menger. I genuinely feel fortunate to have met you. Qi Qingchen smiled tenderly. Lan Qingming paused, responding, I hope the original owner finds a happier place, along with my grandmother. Qi Qingchen gently embraced her. She will, Menga. But do you think you should consider telling your family about this? You cannot hide the truth forever. They may find out eventually. Now able to accept the situation calmly, Lan Qingming nodded. I can tell them. Regardless of how they choose to react, I can accept it. As I am not the true Lan Qingming. Qi Qingchen smiled gently. It's all right, Menger, if they do not recognize you, I will take you away. The two made their way to the Yi family palace's living room, where Yi Qingyun had just returned from morning court. The family was gathered around the circular table. Lan Qingming cleared her throat lightly and said solemnly, Grandfather, grandmother, parents, uncle, I have something to confess. The others exchanged puzzled glances. What is it? Yi Qingyun inquired. Chapter 86. The grand finale. Lan Qingming felt a surge of nervousness as she glanced at everyone. I am not truly Lan Qingming. I come from a world of the future. Lan Yin and the others frowned, questioning. Menger, what nonsense are you talking about? Lan Qingming sighed, recounting her tale. I am Lan Qingming from Earth, having accidentally crossed into this body to be why the time I arrived. The original owner had already died from the whipped. I have narrated my entire experience and my identity in my previous world. I have no parents and was raised by my grandmother. Later, I fought my way through the entertainment industry alone, but then my grandmother was kidnapped. Upon hearing her story, Yi Luo Qiu and the others fell silent. Lan Yin was at a loss for how to face this daughter now. Lan Qingming, feeling despondent, bowed her head and knelt, saying, I'm sorry, I never intended to usurp the original Lan Qingming's body. That I know losing a biological daughter is a heavy blow for you. But even if I hadn't come to this world, the original would have died. Lan Yin embraced her wife, Yi Yuaning, who wept openly, her voice trembling as she said, It's my fault. I left Menger in that devouring Lan family. My poor daughter, she was so young. Yi Yuaning felt a profound sense of sorrow in her heart, and Yi Luo Qiu and Yi Qingyun comforted her, saying, Menger, do not weep any longer. Your eyes are swollen. Witnessing the heartbreak of her family, whom she had spent countless days with, Lan Qingming felt an inexplicable ache within her. She had never experienced the love of parents, yet upon arriving here, she had relished the affection of the original owner's family. Qi Qingchen, unable to bear her kneeling, hurriedly reached out to help her up. Menger, the ground is cold. Lan Qingming was reluctant to rise. She felt a deep sense of guilt towards the original owner and her family. Uncertain of how they would treat her, she remained steadfast in her position. Observing her stubbornness, Qi Qingchen knelt beside her and addressed the onlookers with a bow, saying, Uncle and Aunt, none of this was Menger's choice. She found herself in your daughter's body without any knowledge of it. If you cannot accept her, then I shall take Menger away. Now that all matters are resolved, I will return to the ice spirit snow country with her. Qi Qingchen spoke with a serious demeanor, and Lan Qingming gazed at his resolute figure, feeling a sudden pang of sadness. For the first time in many years, she found someone protecting her, having endured ceaseless tension since entering this foreign world. Fearful that a single misstep could cost her life, that moment, the grievances she had harbored for years surged forth, and Lan Qingming abruptly embraced Qi Qingchen's waist, breaking down in tears as she choked out. Qingchen, I miss my grandmother so much. She was my only family, yet I failed to protect her, and she has passed away. Qi Qingchen held her gently, offering comfort. It's all right, Menger. Your grandmother is certainly enjoying peace in heaven. Is that true? Lan Qingming's eyes glistened with tears. Qi Qingchen nodded affirmatively. Yes, indeed. Menger, let us marry. Perhaps your grandmother is watching us from above, longing to see you establish a family. I promise to cherish you for a lifetime. He continued, once we return to the ice spirit snow country, I will take you to many places, and we may even find solace in the mountains and countryside. Lan Qingming's eyes brightened, and she solemnly nodded in agreement. Very well. Qingchen. Qi Qingchen's face lit up with joy as he eagerly asked, Really? Menger, I will ensure you have the grandest wedding. Just then, Yi Luo Qiu approached with a complex expression, saying, Menger, Qingchen, why not hold your wedding here? Ming'er, regardless of the circumstances, we are family. I will forever be your grandfather, Yi Luo Qiu said kindly, gazing at Lan Qingming. Your grandmother is aware of the hardships you endured. But now that you have crossed into Qingming's body and become our kin, it is fate that as long as you wish to return, your grandparents will always welcome you to the imperial palace of the Dido continent. Shui Wenxin smiled gently. Lan Yin also managed to comfort the tearful Yi Yuaning, gazing at her daughter, both familiar and strange. Ming'er, I have always been your father. Your mother is merely overwhelmed with grief over Qingming's death for the moment. I hope you will not take offense, but without you, our family could never be reunited. You are the blessing sent to us from heaven. Yi Chengyun placed a hand on Lan Qingming's shoulder. Laughing heartily, Ming'er, after spending these few days with you, I have already considered you my cherished niece. Lan Qingming looked at everyone with a heavy heart, bowing in gratitude. Grandfather, grandmother, father, mother, uncle, thank you all. Taking Qi Qingchen's hand, she smiled sweetly, saying, we have decided to return to the ice spirit snow country to marry, as it is the place we know best. Father, during my absence, please take good care of mother and comfort her. Lan Qingming said, looking at Lan Yin. Lan Yin, holding the still crying Yi Yuaning, understood that she had spent so much time with her daughter, only to learn that she had actually passed away. It was natural to find it hard to accept. With a sigh, Lan Yin said, Ming'er, you may go. Please send me an invitation for your wedding. I will surely attend. Lan Qingming paused in surprise before smiling. All right. 6 months later, in the third prince's mansion of the ice spirit snow country, maids busily adorned the place with red wedding symbols, their cheerful chatter awakening Lan Qingming. Sitting in a cool pavilion, she teasingly remarked at the ethereal man before her. An interview. Dear third prince, do you have anything to say as you are about to wed your princess? Qi Qingshun embraced her, chuckling softly. I am overjoyed. Ming'er, I am finally to marry the one I have longed for. I love you. Lan Qingming felt her cheeks flush, a bit shyly clearing her throat. Well, you barely pass. On the wedding day, guests from all walks of life flooded in, from common folk to royalty. The third prince's mansion was filled with banquets, welcoming both the ordinary and the esteemed at that moment. A group of elegantly dressed individuals arrived in a carriage, and a man clad in azure attire remarked with a smile, Ming'er's wedding is quite grand. This entire street is lined with red carpets. Of course, Qingchen is a good lad. He treats Ming'er exceptionally well. Yi Luo Qiu led the group, holding the wedding invitation as they entered the mansion. The servants immediately reported the arrival to Qi Qingchen, who donned his red wedding attire to greet them. Father-in-law, mother-in-law, please come in.